Right, so here today with the 7M head. It's been skimmed, had quite a bit taken off of it. There's still some marks there, but nothing you can really get your finger onto. So said that'll be good. Trust him on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by cleaning up these. Clean them up on the other side as well. These exhaust ones, clean up the intake ones, get everything clean, and then I'll start assembling it after everything's cleaned and all cleaned up. So I'm going to make a start on that now. Put some paper here. Slide this around. Clean it up. I'm going to put a little bit of paper in there first.
Really appreciate all the help I can get, guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers next, so I've got over 100 now. So please, guys, please subscribe and share. Thank you.
Right guys, now I'm doing this, it's really important not to get dirt in the head, so I'm putting the tissue in there, so when I pull the tissue out it brings all the dirt out with it, anything that's gone in there. Really important to clean up all the surfaces, get a nice good seal, especially with all the new gaskets on there. It's the exhaust side, I'm going to do the same to the intake side as well. So yeah, get a nice clean surface and get a nice clean, like a abrasion or drawing between the two. Make sure it's a nice tight seal. And you can see the difference from start to finish already, how clean it is now compared to what it was before. You really do not need to go mad on it, but just give it a light clean up with some light sandpaper. I think it's like 180 grit or something, I can't remember, but it's pretty light, pretty light going. Just taking off all the marks of dirt on there and it'll clean up a lot better and make a good seal. Right, now before I flip the head over, I'll start doing the cams and stuff, installing them. I'm going to get loads of tissue and put it on these so not to mark the head. Okay. Get some engine lube. Right guys, this all cleaned up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinstall the buckets and the shims. Alright, so that one there, I1, that's obviously going to go in the intake one. It's exhaust sides, the intake one side goes in there. Okay, I'm going to get this done. First I'm just going to do a little clean up on the edge. Install a little bit of assembly lube. Just a little smear. Finger. Just around the edge. Just a little bit. Start off nicely. Neck was all clean. Right, no ground there. A little bit on the top. Pop it in. Right, so with this guys, I'm putting assembly lube on the outside, but also I'm cleaning up the inside of the buckets with tissues, rubbing them around and putting some lube on the inside as well. And it's not just about cleaning them, but it's putting them in. I need to make sure they're free and they go up and down nicely and slide nicely up and down. If they're stuck at all in any sense, then you'll get like a knock-in of the cam on the shim. You don't want to get a stuck lifter or stuck bucket or anything like that. So you need to make sure they slide up and down really nice and easy. And yeah, just lube them up because obviously there's no oil on them, they're dry. So yeah, lube them up really nice, in and out. Make sure they twist around a little bit. Make sure they go up and down really nice and free. You should be able to pull them out as easy as you can. That's one side done. On this side now. Get a little bit of tissue. Yeah, the assembly is super important. Super important for like installation where you don't have the oil pressure and oil gone round the engine when you first start up. This first one's quite dirty, quite sticky, so I had to really clean this one up on the inside and then lube it up and it went in perfectly after that. Great job. It was the inside of the bucket was stopping it from going on, it was dirty. Yeah, one bucket didn't want to go in.
I thought it was fine on the outside, it was dirty on the inside. Weird that.
That's strange. So that was obviously just slightly catching out.
Yeah, it was catching on the outside of the spring. I was like, it's definitely not catching on the outside, so I could see it wasn't. So what's stopping it?
It's obviously where they've been out and they've got dry a little bit, the oil's turned a bit tough, so it's made a bit sticky. So once they're all, I've cleaned them all, I've cleaned all of them on the inside and on the outside. Once they're all clean, they all slid in perfectly lovely.
Yeah.
Obviously it's really important here, remember which order they came out in, even though you've numbered them, you know which direction they are. I usually like to number one at the cam gear end, and yeah, I'm a bit tired of been doing this all day. And then the second thing. They're all looking beautiful.
Right, so now what I'm going to do is I've got my ARPs here, and I'm just going to check that these go in with the cams in. If they do, then if they do go in with the cams in, I'm not going to put the cams in now. If they don't go in with the cams in, then I'm going to have to cams after I down. That's it. Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, so what I basically said here, guys, is I need to check that with the cams installed, I can actually get the ARP bolts in, because if I can't, there's no point in putting
I can do that on the car. I'll install the cams now. I'm going to put new seals on here, which I've got, and I'm going to lube up the surfaces where the cams go.
So obviously they all go in, so I can get it all installed.
Right, then I've got two nice new cam seals. I'm going to lube up the inside here, so that's where the seal is, so it doesn't go dry. I'm going to put some Hylamar around the outside and get them ready to go in after I've lubed up the bottom of the cam carriers.
Just to make sure there's plenty of lube on all of the cam carriers there, and so you start it up, it's not dry, give it enough lubrication before it all gets there. The new cam seal just gone on, and now I'm just going to run some Hylamar around the outside to help it seal and make sure no oil comes through there. All in all, from cleaning everything, which you haven't seen off the screen, some of the stuff, and just taking me about 3.5 hours to get this back together. All nicely cleaned and back together, torqued up and everything, but it's ready to bolt back into the engine.
Right, now I'm going to sort of carrier caps, okay, so on these ones, the end ones, just to stop any oil seeping out, I'm just going to put a bit of Hylamar here and a bit of Hylamar here on the outside so it doesn't go in this bit here, plug it up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put some assembly lube on the middle bit here, which I'll do afterwards. No? You get one. Is that the one?
So there I'm just saying there's an arrow, and it also says intake 1, so the arrow points towards the cam gears, so make sure you get that the arrows pointing all the same way towards the cam gears.
Spread that a little bit. I'll do the same on this side, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lube up all the other carrier caps individually. So that will just put that in there for a minute. Right, let me do this one, and then I'll do all the other cam caps individually. here's the carrier caps. As you can see, they've all got the arrow pointing towards a cam front of the engine. So they need to be installed that way. I'm going to lube these up. I'm going to lube them all up ready and then just install them. So I'm going to lube them up now. All of them all together. Right, so that's intake 2 going on. I'm just literally just finger threading in the cam caps now, just so they're all on there and it's not going to get cross-threaded or anything. And now I'm doing the exhaust side. And once that's done, I'm going to go in like a crisscross pattern, do the middle ones first, like just nip them, and then go along. I'm not going to go all the way, but just nip them gradually and from the middle outwards. Right, now I'm just going to start nipping these down, but the thing to watch out for is I need to make sure the seal doesn't pop out, and I need to make sure the seal doesn't pinch here and here. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the centre one. I'm going to start by doing a little bit by a little bit. Don't go too bad with it. Go along evenly. So see it here, I'm sort of like going a little bit on like the middle one, then going down to the end, and then coming up the other end, going a little bit by a little bit. And I want to make sure that the seal doesn't pinch itself or it doesn't sort of pop out or anything. I want it all to go in nicely and be seated nicely. And also you don't want to be stressing the cam too much by trying to force it on one side and not on the other. So, do it nice and even all the way, and then nip them all up when it's actually flat down. And then you can talk them afterwards. Cleaning the bits of Highland after the rocker cover gaskets have got to sit. Right, so got a little torque wrench out. It needs to be 14 foot-pounds or like 19 or 20 Newton meters, give or take. Alright, so I'm just going to wind this up. That's the rock on it, obviously. That's it. Right. Right, now that's all torqued up, I'm just going to go over it again, just one by one, all the way down, just to make sure it's all good. So, yep. I always like to double check. I just go around it, just to, even with the same with doing wheel nuts and stuff. Just right. So I've just cleaned this. Just gonna pop it on air before I put the cams on. Cams, sorry. Don't go like that. Right, an intake cam to go on. Just this one here. Got to line up the wood rock in here, put it on. Same with the exhaust cam. Line up the wood rock key for it to go on. It's actually pulled out this one. That goes in the centre. Goes in that one there. There you go. Right, they need to be done up to 36 foot-pounds or 50 Newton meters, right? So I've got it on here. We'll set this to 50. Alright, let's see it on there. 50. Alright. So now what we need to do is get a ½ inch on there, which should be in here. And I also need to get something to hold the cams there.
So that was a 24mm spanner and a 14mm 1/2" socket. Or 1/2" driver, I should say. Good. Now for me, I've got to say that just didn't feel like it was quite tight enough, so I'm just going to go to 52 on here and leave it at that. 52 should be plenty enough. So yeah, I'm just going to do 52 and then just retorque it. Done. That's done. Now I'm going to start bolting things on, like we'll start with the thermostat housing. So we've got some Hylam on top of the gasket. All you need is a light smear and it will just help it seal. So just lightly smear it on, nothing too thick or heavy. Just put it on, that's it, and bolt it up. You could let it set for like 10 minutes before fully tightening it, but in this case it doesn't really matter since the gasket's good and you know, new, and the Hylam only has thin smear, so it'll be fine. It just basically fills in any of them gaps and it also does create a gasket of its own. Next we'll put sugar on. You need to clean this up, get some new seals for it. Right, so I need to install this distributor. However, this needs to be timed up correctly to the engine. So I need to put this cam at TDC, put this cam at TDC, so they're roughly in the right place. However, on this, there's no real place to see on there where the TDC is, but I just looked online onto a handbook and you've got a drill dot there, that's line up that mark there. So TDC it, I've that dot there, which is like a drilled hole. It's from Toyota handbook, that should line up with the groove on that distributor, and that means that'll be at TDC, but it's not exactly precise where it should look on the side when you're looking at like the rotor arm bit where the rotor arm bolts onto. That looks more about right now. We'll have a quick check on the old book and see what that's saying. This should be correct. I doubt it. I mean, that's like, you know, I'll move that and you'll see like advanced, retard. That should be correct. I don't know whether that should be pointing on that. I'm going to pull it out and check whether it's still lined up, but we'll see. I mean, this cam is definitely pointing at the TDC, so let's have a look. Let's get around it. Proper look square on. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So, yeah, it could go a squidgen more, maybe. Maybe I'll go a little squidgen more and see. So here at the moment I'm just trying to make sure the cams are dead set to TDC, which they were anyway, but I'm just trying to be very, very particular. Might be slightly better. Where's that lined up to? No, I'll pull it out and I'll see if it does line up, but I think that's about right, to be fair. I'll pull it out and try again. Okay, I've checked it, double checked it, tried different positions, but this is directly centre, and that is basically it. That's going to be perfect. So I'm going to put the bolt in there, attachment bolt, and yeah, that should be okay for now. I'll just tighten up, I'll just nip that up for now. So yeah, done. So we'll move on to the next step, putting all the rest of the stuff on. So where that 12mm bolt goes through, it's got like a line on it. That line on the actual distributor should line up directly central with the bolt hole, which it does. Now I'm just going to bolt the brackets on the stuff, just to make it easier to lift it off onto the engine when I go to bolt it on, which will be today actually. It's run over into past 12 o'clock now, so I'll get this on tomorrow. Nice weather outside, and get it done. Which reminds me, I will need to pick up plenty of brake cleaner.
Right, so now's a good time to replace all the injector seals. As you see, so I've replaced some of them, like that one there. That one's nice and new. You can focus on that.
So I'm just replacing all the injector seals now.
You see like this one. Shit. So I'm going to replace all of these, and we're going to replace the ones up in here too. Right, so I've even replaced all the little tiny O-rings on the upper parts of the injector seals, and replaced the bottom ones. So
those little ones of the injectors to injector rail seals.
So bring over here, line them all up.
You want to make sure these all lined up directly central into the head, because if you get it at a slight angle, you're going to end up pinching the bottom big sort of rubber O-rings, and they will not seal properly. It will not be a good job. So you want to make sure they're all directly central. Even as you bolt it up, just make sure you can still wiggle around and not clamping one up in a certain type of way or anything like that. Make it all nice and central. It will go in. I've also lubed up all the O-rings as well with some petroleum jelly. So there's upper and lower, so that'll help to give them longevity and life, just keep it plump. See me here occasionally just touching and twisting the injector just to make sure they're all 100%. Oh, I do love fixing stuff. Right, this is the perfect time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please hit the subscribe button. We've got plenty of big builds planned, like some really, really top-notch stuff.
And we are done.
Also, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, please. Give it a big like and share it if you can.
Now let's get a box.
Friends will enjoy it too.
Guys, the next bit will be on the actual car. Thank you for watching. I will post this up ASAP. That's it. She's ready to go in a box. On to the next one, thank you.
Oh, and she is ready to go on. Make sure you check out my other videos too, guys. Thank you. See you in the next one.